film with an absolute idiot of a co-star. And this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get it.
It's not every day a guy gets to interview the love interest of his best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband and me as his best mate. Holy shit.
For years, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have been seen as Hollywood's favorite bromance. Their playful jabs, flirtatious humor, and almost too close friendship had fans laughing, guessing, and for some, wondering if there was more to the story. But recently, everything has changed. Hugh Jackman's sudden divorce, Ryan's growing list of controversies, the silence between them, the posts that stopped, the distance that grew. Now, insiders claim Hugh Jackman may have finally revealed the truth about what really happened behind the scenes with Ryan Reynolds, and it's reportedly left Ryan shattered. This isn't just a story about two friends growing apart. If what's being whispered behind closed doors is true, then Ryan's secrets are finally catching up to him. From the very beginning, fans noticed something different about Ryan and Hugh's friendship. It wasn't just the joking or the viral videos. They leaned into it hard. They fought like a couple, flirted like best friends, and made comments that blurred the line between humor and something deeper. On social media, fans shipped them under the name Reeg. People created entire TikTok compilations of their interviews and body language. Even their jokes often hinted at something more, with Hugh once joking he loved Ryan more than his own wife. At red carpet events, they would often show up separately but gravitate toward one another, exchanging glances or playful banter in front of flashing cameras. They weren't afraid to stoke the rumors either. Reynolds would repost memes about their love affair, while Jackman would fan the flames in interviews. Even fellow actors began teasing them about their closeness, fueling even more speculation. For years, people assumed it was just two actors having fun, but now those jokes feel more like signals, especially when you consider the timing of what came next. In late 2023, Hugh Jackman quietly announced his separation from Deborah Lee Furness, his wife of nearly 30 years. No drama, no cheating scandal, just a vague statement about growing apart. But Hollywood insiders immediately raised eyebrows. The divorce announcement came just as Ryan Reynolds was facing explosive backlash over the Justin Baldoni lawsuit and a growing list of image-damaging headlines. Some believe Hugh didn't want to get dragged into Ryan's chaos, while others speculate the timing was deliberate, an attempt to quietly step back before even bigger secrets were revealed. For a couple that had long been admired for their stability and loyalty, the abrupt split didn't sit right with fans or media. The questions came fast. Why now? Why so suddenly? And what's even stranger, Hugh refused to publicly comment on Ryan's controversies. Not a single word, no support, no denial, just calculated silence. That silence spoke volumes and left fans wondering what he knew and when he knew it. Multiple sources claim Hugh Jackman has recently confided in close friends that his relationship with Ryan was more complicated than the public ever knew. What looked like a lighthearted bromance may have had a deeper, more emotional foundation, one that, according to insiders, wasn't always healthy. Several reports suggest Hugh felt he was being pulled into situations that weren't his to handle, often used as a buffer to soften the public blow when Ryan found himself in trouble. One source even claimed that Hugh had started to reflect on the dynamic during therapy after his divorce, and that he admitted Ryan leaned on him too much, especially when the cameras were off. Another described the relationship as one-sided, where Hugh gave everything, his time, his public loyalty, his brand, and Ryan, in return, took without always giving back. One report alleged that Hugh felt emotionally manipulated by Ryan, that he'd been used for his image, loyalty, and quiet support during darker times. It wasn't just the public antics or playful Instagram jabs. It was the constant expectation that Hugh would be there, defend him, play along, and most importantly, never speak out. In one interview, when asked about his friendships in Hollywood, Hugh simply said, "Some people weren't what they seemed. I've learned to trust my gut." He didn't name names. He didn't need to. Fans immediately linked the quote to Ryan, especially considering the growing distance between the two. What made it more telling was the tone in Hugh's voice. Serious, reflective, and unlike his usual upbeat personality. It was the kind of quiet confession that leaves more questions than answers. But one thing was clear, this wasn't just a casual falling out. If Hugh truly felt hurt, betrayed, or used by someone he once called a brother, then maybe this was more than friendship all along. Maybe there was emotional depth behind the playful banter, feelings that were never fully acknowledged, or worse, taken advantage of. And now that Hugh is slowly reclaiming his own narrative, fans are wondering if the next time he speaks, it won't be subtle at all. Here's where things take a darker turn, as allegations surface that Ryan Reynolds blacklisted Justin Baldoni, emotionally pressured his daughter on set, and manipulated media narratives to protect his image. Some fans started wondering if his entire persona was carefully manufactured. The lovable, witty guy next door, was that real or was it a distraction? And that's when the theory emerged. Was Hugh Jackman the distraction all along? To the public, Hugh and Ryan's feud was hilarious. They mocked each other online, posted playful pranks, and had the internet rooting for their next funny exchange. But now, some fans believe all of that may have served a very strategic purpose. Their friendship painted Ryan as approachable, humble, and self-aware. Hugh brought legitimacy, warmth, and classic Hollywood charm to the equation, and Ryan, he brought the noise, the memes, the chaos, the brand deals. Together, they were a perfect balance, or so it seemed. But according to insiders, that image may have been carefully crafted by Ryan. He leaned into Hugh's popularity and reputation, knowing it gave him a kind of untouchable glow. In photos and interviews, Hugh was the steady presence beside him, almost like a moral safety net. Behind the scenes, though, that dynamic may have been far more complicated. Sources say Hugh started to notice the pattern. Every time Ryan got into trouble, their friendship would suddenly be in the spotlight again. Whether it was a viral tweet, a shared birthday joke, or a surprise video, the pattern was there. Ryan used Hugh as a shield, and when the controversies became impossible to ignore, when fans began calling out Ryan's parenting choices, the Baldoni lawsuit gained traction, and more stories about his manipulative behavior surfaced, Hugh had to make a choice: protect his legacy or protect Ryan. And for the first time in decades, Hugh chose himself. It wasn't dramatic, there was no public fallout, just a quiet step back, no more posts, no more jokes, no more performances. Hugh began to withdraw, not out of bitterness, but out of necessity, because staying close to Ryan amid the chaos would have pulled him down too. And for a man who built his career on honor, humility, and authenticity, losing that wasn't worth the cost. Eagle-eyed fans noticed that around the time of his divorce, Hugh stopped tagging or mentioning Ryan altogether. For years, their birthdays were practically a tradition. One would post something funny, the other would clap back with a meme or a skit. But in 2024, radio silence. No cheeky tweets, no Instagram tributes, not even a throwback photo. Meanwhile, Ryan, who built part of his social brand around their ongoing feud, suddenly went quiet about Hugh. No promo mentions for Hugh's upcoming projects, no teasing videos, no acknowledgement at all. It was like their friendship disappeared overnight. Then came the cryptic quotes, the ones that really got fans speculating. Hugh posted, "You don't owe loyalty to people who never respected your boundaries." And later, when you walk away from what no longer serves you, the peace is unreal. They weren't just emotional posts, they felt personal, targeted. Fans began commenting things like, "Is this about Ryan?" And "This says way more than a press release ever could." Some even went back through Hugh's older interviews, searching for moments that now seem filled with subtle tension. One resurfaced clip showed Hugh looking noticeably uncomfortable when Ryan's name was brought up, something most viewers missed at the time. Now, they're seeing it with different eyes. For longtime fans of both stars, the shift was undeniable. Two men who once couldn't stop playfully roasting each other were suddenly pretending the other didn't exist. And with Hugh's emotional tone and deliberate distance, fans weren't reading between the lines anymore. They were connecting the dots. Something had changed, and whatever it was serious enough for Hugh Jackman to walk away from one of the most beloved public friendships in Hollywood. Behind the scenes, insiders say Ryan is emotionally spiraling. He's no stranger to dealing with criticism, especially in the era of non-stop online backlash. But this isn't just another PR hit, it's personal. One source claimed Ryan is devastated that Hugh has distanced himself, not just because of the friendship, but because he never expected Hugh to walk away. For years, Hugh had been the steady, calming presence in Ryan's whirlwind life. He offered loyalty, quiet support, and more importantly, a sense of safety in the public eye. But that safety net is gone now, and insiders say Ryan is terrified, not just of the loss, but of what might come next, because Hugh doesn't need to expose any secrets in a dramatic, headline-making confession. He wouldn't need to name names or reveal any scandalous messages. All it would take is a few honest words, a single interview, a quiet moment of truth for fans and the media to piece it all together, and that's what reportedly has Ryan so shaken. He knows Hugh holds the emotional receipts. He knows that Hugh's voice, even without specifics, would carry weight. A statement like, "I was manipulated," or "I was covering for someone," would be enough to unravel Ryan's carefully constructed public image. And for someone who has built a career on charm, relatability, and wit, that kind of quiet exposure might be even more damaging than a scandal. Because when the person who once stood by you silently walks away, everyone starts asking why. Let's take a step back. If Ryan's relationship with Hugh wasn't what it seemed, then what else about his life is a lie? The nice guy image, the family first branding, the perfectly packaged persona he's sold for over a decade. He's facing accusations of blacklisting and media manipulation from Justin Baldoni, backlash for coaching his young daughter to say an explicit line in Deadpool, silence from former co-stars and collaborators. And now, with Hugh walking away and potentially revealing deeper truths, Ryan's entire brand feels like it's on the edge of collapse. What started as a few rumors has turned into a pattern, and that pattern, it's starting to point towards something much bigger. Insiders claim that both Hugh Jackman and even Taylor Swift are now being considered for depositions in the Baldoni lawsuit because of what they may know behind the scenes. If that happens, what truth will finally come out? The world is watching. Hugh Jackman's silence, once seen as loyalty, now feels like something much more calculated. For years, he stood beside Ryan Reynolds, laughing, joking, playing the part, but now he's vanished from Ryan's spotlight completely, and fans can't shake the feeling that he's holding on to something big. If Hugh finally speaks out, it may not be through a dramatic interview or a viral post. It might come in the form of a quiet comment, a reflective quote, or one of those subtle but powerful moments that says everything without naming names. So here's the question no one wants to answer. If you had a friend who was hiding something from the world, would you protect them or would you tell the truth? Let us know in the comments, because what you think might just be closer to the truth than Hollywood wants us to believe.